Module 4. Hopefully, you've already implemented the things I've said in the previous modules, and you've seen benefit already over the last couple of days. So this one is specifically for hooks. Hook hard, hook fast, or hook off. So let's dive right in so I can go deep into the hooks so you can understand why they are so important and really what you can do to get the most out of them. So watch time, as mentioned, equals more reach. Your goal on everything is 60 to 70% watch time. If you can be nailing 60 to 70% watch time, your followers will follow. I guarantee that, because that's literally what Instagram want to see. If you're getting over 80%, you're literally hitting the Reels and Explore page every single time. So let's focus on that number. If you're not getting 60 to 70, I know I said 50 before, but if you really want to step up and do better, let's go for 60 to 70% on all of them. You know, if you post 10 Reels, you'll probably find that 3 will do really well and 7 won't while you're figuring out your account. Then after a week, after 2 weeks, once you've posted so much, get rid of all the ones that didn't do well and just home in on the ones that did. Even if you have 3, if you have 1, if you have, 2 or 1, just figure out what you did, dissect everything, all the metrics, everything that you can think about. Was it the frames per second? Was it your hook? Was it this? Like, there's so many things that can be in it. So go through, have a look, and you will figure out and have much more successful Reels, okay? So let's jump into it more. Hook in the first second. There's many different ways to kind of do a hook. It might be visual, it might be verbal, and it could be text as well. There's all different ways that you can do it. I would recommend trying different ones. For example, you'll see in a lot of these things, there'll be an empty chair and someone come and sit down and then they'll jump straight into the video. That's obviously more of a movement one. Could be a surprise, like the baseball that's flying towards somebody, hits a baseball and then it flies towards your head and then it changes into the main video. That might work really well for you. It might generally just be your emotion that you bring across on the first second or two that kind of, if people are flicking, you look into the psychology and think about when you're next flicking and doom scrolling going through your phone, like how fast do you give a reel any time at all? So once you kind of get that into your head, you know how fast it needs to be, like straight from beginning. If you're the first 1 or 2 seconds, you start the record and you don't clip it well for the first 1 and 2 seconds is nothing, then you've got to fix that, and you've got to fix that fast. From the first second that comes out, you have to be talking, you have to be engaging, you have to be moving around to bring that excitement and bring that person to then focus on what you are watching. TikTok brought this in, with the 15-second videos and 30-second videos. They brought that attention span of people just not having an attention span. This is transferred over to Instagram. Facebook, for example, people will give it a little bit more time so the hook can be slightly longer. But on Instagram, the first seconds that you need to be on this hook straight away. And it could even be bold, large text as well over the front of Reels. One thing with Reels as well, this is a bit of a side note, but just make sure you make a note of this. On your Reels, you should always have the writing that you're saying over the top. Think about how many people get the metro. Think about someone who might be sleeping next to their wife or their husband and they don't want to have the sound on. If you don't have the words, they're going to skip past, which is, it might be a great Reel. But if they can't see it and they can't listen to it, then you've got to give them that text there, So this is why it's different with the movement, the surprise, the emotion, not just talking. The hook can be in many different ways because, some of the statistics in America, for example, say that up to 50% of people watch Reels, depending on the time, without sound. So if that's the case, you're possibly losing 50% of people straight away just because you don't have the text at the bottom. Make sure your text is on the Reels, also in the thumbnails as well, on your bio. Direct action, cut straight to the action. As I said, don't waffle, just jump straight in. This is what the story is about. This is what the Reel's about. And then you can go from there. Have a look at what works well. Some of the hooks you might try just ain't going to work. Like, don't get disheartened by it. If they don't work, just try something different. But again, the metrics will tell you if your hooks are working or not. If they're not, then you're definitely going to have less than 10, 20% watch time, because people even aren't going to go there. But even more now, it's easier with the skip rate. So if you've got a very high skip rate, that is 100% indication that your hook is not good enough. So less than the watch time, it's still important. Let's say less than 20% of the watch time. But if your skip rate is high, improve your hook. And the hook is not optional. Like, I'm not telling you that you can or can't put the hook. You have to put the hook 100%. If you don't have good hooks, then you're really, really going to struggle online, okay? Especially with Instagram. So when trying to revive an account that's got low engagement, or you're building a new account, or really just trying out a new strategy, I highly recommend that you keep it under 15 seconds for now, and then slowly increase as you go along. One, it's going to make it much easier for you to make, rather, it's easier to make a 15 rather than a 30-minute or 1 minute. But also, if you're building a new account with new followers, they're not that invested into you yet. So you might have a great hook, but then they're getting bored halfway through and then they're swiping off. Keeping it to 15 seconds, most people will watch 15 seconds of a video. So therefore, you're going to have higher watch time, a higher chance of getting to the explore page. And once you see that certain videos are hitting 80, 90%, then with that exact same video, just increase it a little bit more. Because when you're posting as well, I touched on it, 20 to 30% of your followers will see it. So whenever you post, have in your head that only 20 to 30% of your followers have ever seen your posts. If you think that way, then you don't mind posting content all the time, okay? So keep it under 15 seconds and then increase it as your watch time. If you're already posting 1 minute right now, or you're posting 30 seconds, reduce it down to 15, start from there, and then slowly increase once you increase your engagement and your story views. So now you've got your hooks sorted, I need to tell you what to do and not to do. So make sure that whenever you're posting your reels, that they're using fast edits, changing visuals, holding the focus. It's super, super important that you go to the next level with your content. Now, this used to be much more difficult, but now you can edit them with Instagram. CapCut is a great tool as well to use. I've also, at the end of this course, I give you all the tools and companies that I use internally over the years, so you can check that out. But yeah, if you're posting a reel and the first 1 or 2 seconds is you walking to the camera, it's not even a hook, make sure that the edits are correct. As I mentioned, keep it down to 15 seconds. It could be changing angle, it could be visuals. All these things are going to keep people watching, rather than just a 30-second or 15-second of hello, my name is, and this, of just one shot. It's boring. People's brains are now are programmed to look in a different way. So definitely use the apps. And it's so easy. You don't need to be a designer. Just get the video, throw it into CapCut, and it'll literally chop it up all for you straight away. You just might need to change 1 or 2 things, and then you've got a decent reel. So make sure you're doing this, not just boring ones looking at the camera. It still surprises me that some people still do that. And you can clearly see when you look at their accounts that they've got no engagement, unfortunately. So include movement as well. It can be a good one, moving around a little bit. I personally like to hold my phone and talk to it like this for the stories, but it also works well for this. Moving around different shots is going to keep people kind of engaged rather than just getting bored of watching it one shot. Keep it short, keep it clean, keep it full of energy. Bring that energy into the reel as well. If you think that it's boring, or you don't think that you did as well as you could have done, reshoot it. Do it again, like all the time, again and again and again. And then you will get better over time. Like bit by bit, you will become so much better at content. But if you think you can just make one recording and then post it, this is your big downfall as well. So think about it, watch it back. And if you're criticizing multiple different things that you could have done better, then do it. Like, it's different with me doing this course. I've got time to talk. I can have a look at the sheet and stuff like that. But when you're on a reel or a Reels feed, you've got seconds, and you have to make that 15 seconds be as valuable as possible. Otherwise, you're not going to get that engagement. So make sure you spend the time on editing and making decent high-level reels. Don't speak slowly with loads of pauses as well. You know, you're just going to bore people and they're going to click off. Film one long shot, still shot with no change. Again, if you're doing a minute just standing there in one position, this is not really what works on Instagram. Things need to be changed around. Tell stories with no hook or no structure, okay? So take away from this one, make sure it's edits. It's got to be high quality content. If it's not good enough, go back to the drawing board, do it again. If you don't find it interesting, then most people really won't find it interesting as well. The best thing to do here is find someone in your niche, in your industry that's already doing it and they're already killing it in terms of what they're doing, and copy the way that they do their content. I say this all the time. Don't reinvent the wheel. Somebody who's already succeeded in terms of what you want to succeed, copy that person, follow that person, look at the stuff that they make, look at how they interact with their followers, because that's where you want to be. So if you want to get there, make sure you're doing as much as what they are doing. Awesome. That's a good one. I do like this one. Let's go to the next. Add captions. Always add captions. It's become quite a frequent thing over the last year or two since hashtags kind of started to die out a little bit, is people don't put captions. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of how Instagram now place your content online. So if you have a detailed caption, you know, about what you were doing, like what is in the reel, what is in the post, Instagram will use that to place it online in the correct places. Still use hashtags. Hashtags still are good. They don't work as well as they used to. I would say about 10 hashtags. I would put 3 low, so 3 that have less than 100,000, 200,000 posts on them. I would put 3 that's between 250,000 and 500 posts. Then I would put 3 or 4, you know, give or take. You can add the other one in for ones that have got 500 posts or more. But make sure you are doing a decent caption for every single one. If it's just a one-liner, Instagram don't know where to put it online. So it takes more time for it then to possibly go viral. But also, some people want to read it. You know, if you're ranking in the Explore, most people won't read the caption. I do understand that. But a lot of people will. So make sure you spend the time to do a decent caption. If you don't know how to do the caption, grab the video or grab the post, whatever, throw it straight into ChatGPT and be like, help me build a caption with this. You know, give it a little bit more context and then use it. So it's not just for people to understand what is in the post. Instagram use this to then put it in the correct places. So always use decent captions, please. Make it loop smoothly. And what I mean by this is if you've got smaller reels, let's say just the 15 seconds, you'll be surprised about how many people will rewatch that again and again. So if you've got a block at the end of the video that doesn't really feed into the video again, either people are going to scroll or it just doesn't feed into the replay, because every single replay classes as another view. So if somebody views it 10 times, that's 10 different views that you're going to be getting as well. And this is a good aim. You know, if people really do like your content, they will watch it again and again and again. And a little trick here, try this out. So I actually did it with images. I just put an image of me out for a dinner and I put the image as a reel, but for 3 seconds. And what people didn't realize is the reel was just playing over and over and over. I put a soundtrack behind it as well, over and over and over. That blew my engagement out the water. Like, that post went onto the Explore page. It was at the top of the feed all the time. It got loads of comments. So try that little trick as well. If you're going to post just a photo, turn it into a reel, put it 2 or 3 seconds, and then it'll just keep on going. Don't do it all the time because it won't work all the time, but it's a good little trick to do every now and then that will actually increase your engagement because you'll just get loads of views on it. But make sure it goes in smoothly. So if somebody wants to watch it again, then it can go back around. One kind of interesting thing here as well, and I picked this up from a client of mine, that what they used to do, I presume they still do it now, is to get more views, the captions and the stuff at the bottom or the words used to go so fast that people couldn't read them in time. So the guy would be talking about, let's just say it's about business, and it'd be like, look, I'm going to show all my top tips below. These top tips are going to make you a millionaire. And then they flash up, but then they go off within 2 seconds. So the person only got maybe to the second or third one, rather than getting through to the 5th, the person would have to watch the video again to then have a look at the other tips. It's a really smart thing. And they said that since they started doing that, that their visuals would flash on and also their text quite fast. So people wouldn't get a really good chance of doing it. But they needed a really good video first. So they needed a reel that was proven to get people watching it. And then once they did that, they would repost it with these graphics. So they knew that people would watch the reel, but then they wanted to watch what was in the graphics. How did they become a millionaire, for example? So then they would watch it again and again and again. So a little trick that you can try, and this can be for anything. So yeah, try that and let me know how it goes. So this part I find is very, very important to not just the hooks, but the reels in general, the content in general. Be honest with yourself and get rid of your ego. Because I find so many times that people keep posting and posting and posting, and they're not going anywhere. And it's their ego holding them back because they believe that what they're posting, the world needs to hear this. You know, it might be possible, but if the metrics and the comments and the watch time don't show that, then you need to change strategy. So, and I've had to fight with so many clients about this as well, in improving to them, hey, look, we've got to get rid of your ego. We've got to look at what works. We've got to change the strategy. So if you post 100 pieces of content, and promise me this now, if you post 100 pieces of content and it's not working, you have to change. Gary Vee said this many years ago, and I completely agree with what he says. If you posted 100 pieces of content, it's not working, and you're really getting nowhere, you have to go back to the drawing board and start again. It doesn't matter if you think it is great. If everyone else doesn't think it's great, you're going to just be wasting your time doing content for yourself. But you're not starting from ground zero, because now you've just created 100 pieces of content. You know what wasn't working. You're now better in front of the camera. You still got a few things. It might have been 1 or 2 reels that did better than the rest of them. So you're like, okay, I did slightly better here. So how did I do better? Was it the hook? Was it the topic? Was it anything else? But yeah, remove your ego with all of this and let the metrics do the work. Okay. Like, I like to send certain things to either friends, staff members, parents, you know, my mum and dad. Like, if they look at something and I'm like, I ask their opinion. So ask your opinion of your friends. Send them a reel or send them someone else and be like, I need your like personal opinion on this, like real opinion. Don't just say, yes, it's great. And if they don't, then go back. Like, use the people around you to help you out. Because I find a lot of people, you know, they're just throwing masses of reels, masses of content out there and just guessing and just hoping that it gets picked up. But you've got someone right next to you who can tell you if it's crap or not. Like, I know that might be a little bit harsh, but at the end of the day, if it is crap, it's not going to go anywhere. Like, why would Instagram want poor content on their platform, and then it makes people not use their platform? Think of a car showroom. They're not going to have a Ferrari and a Lamborghini and then have like a Fiat Panda all broken up, you know, in the corner. It makes the platform, it makes the showroom look bad. So it's exactly the same with social media. And this is another reason why they don't post, you know, that they don't push your post. If it's like poor quality, boring, and nobody else wants to engage with it. So as much as you might think it's great, you know, your little Fiat Panda, you might be really happy driving it around. They don't want it in their showroom. So once you start to think like this, okay, I need to step up my game. Again, go back to the people who are already doing what you want to achieve. And once you've done that, then you go, okay, this is the level where I need to be. On anything below that level does not get posted on my social media. But what you can do as well, for things that you want to try, use them in the stories first. Put them in the story. Hey, do you like this? Yes or no? Like, comment below, or let me know what you think of this reel. And then people come back and be like, yeah, it's too long. You're standing in the same place. You talk about the same topic all the time. So be honest with yourself. This is more of a personal message to everyone who's doing this course, and everyone that I speak to in social media, clients or friends or family or anyone. I always drill this into people, that the algorithm is numbers. It's a system. It doesn't care about your feelings. The algorithm cares about what works and what other people want to see as well. So please bear that in mind when doing your content. And sometimes it is soul destroying. You might have done a huge shoot. You might have spent weeks doing content, and you have to strip it all back and start again. Sometimes that happens. But a last little thing as well is that content that didn't work doesn't mean that you can't repurpose it and put it into the CapCut, what I was mentioning before, chop and change certain things. Like, you don't need to keep going and making more content. I'm not going to speak about this too much. It's in another topic. As I mentioned, I can kind of get carried away with this when I get a little bit excited about a certain thing. But let's move on to the next one. So as I keep drilling into time and time and time again, and this is why I keep putting it in all the time, is watch time wins every single time. And this is why, since the very recent update, the skip is also the same on it. So you want to just be checking your results. I say, like, check your post after every post. I would be adding it into a spreadsheet with all your statistics. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. I do add this in the other course in terms of how to use ChatGPT, but I'm going to give you a little tip in terms of how I do it with my customers as well. So all you need to do, and you can do this very, very easily, is create a file in your phone on the photos. And after every single time that you post, give it 24 hours, just to let it get it in. Then screenshot the post, screenshot the comments, screenshot the insights and everything else. All you need to do is screenshot, screenshot, screenshot. You might have to take, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screenshots and then just label them with the post and then just put them in that folder. Then all you need to do is, I would do this probably once every 2 weeks. You don't need to do it all the time. Add all them screenshots. Going to take a little bit of time. Add all them screenshots into ChatGPT. You want to be building a project. I do go with this a lot deeper in it, but in the course. But build a project, and in there you can add in all of your posts, all of your screenshots of your posts, and you talk to ChatGPT. I prefer to speak to it. I think speaking to ChatGPT is so much better than typing. And you can say, hey, look, this is the content that I've been posting for the last week. I want you to go through the statistics. I want you to go through everything. Tell me what worked. Tell me what didn't. And together, let's build a plan in terms of what I can do for my next week and next week's content using what worked and didn't work. You give that. You've literally just done hours of research that used to take me hours and hours and hours, adding it to spreadsheets. Now just fire it into ChatGPT and it will tell you, this video worked well, and then you'll know it's the hook, and you just need to keep going back and forth. Once you master that and you just keep adding all your information into ChatGPT, then it's literally going to tell you exactly what you need to do. What is the best content to be posting? Like, what was the hook that worked? What was the body? What's triggering comments? Like, you don't have to do all the thinking. You just have to think outside the box, give that the information, let GPT do the thinking, and then you just implement what it tells you to do. So we come to the end of this module. As always, you've got a few things that you can work on afterwards. I'm sure you already know some of these things, but there'll be a lot of new information in there. So hook plus skip rate as well. Go through your statistics as you do at the end of every module. Have a look what you can implement now. Maybe you've already been doing most of the things, but let's have a look at all that. So super excited to move on to the next module. This one was a really, really good one because I know that it works so well and so many people need this help out there. So yeah, go and put this into practice, and I'll see you in the next module.